Hey guys, so today we're going to be going over two different blocks, getting a little bit more advanced in our techniques here. And these two blocks are going to be based on back stances, and we're also going to talk about some more of those little details that are really going to make our forms and techniques start to pop that really come out and are really, really important and noticeable if they're missing in these techniques. So these two techniques we're working on today are our double pseudo block, which simply means open hands, so double open hand block, and our twin block, which simply comes up and blocks here, which we're going to be seeing come first in that Tongan form that we're starting to learn at that yellow with a striped belt. Both of these blocks are based in back stances, and that critical movement we're looking for is that wrist pop. For a wrist pop, we're thinking kind of like flicking water off of our fingers or our hands when we're trying to shake our hands off, or think about as if we're trying to pop a towel. We kind of wind it up and we stay real loose, but then there's a little snap or flick of the wrist at the end, which is what we're looking for, is that staying nice and loose until we get right to the block, and then we are popping our wrists at the end. So to start off, we're going to start with that double pseudo block. Our back foot for that back stance is going to be faced directly in this direction. The other foot where we are pointing. That's going to create a 90-degree angle, or if your feet together, you're going to see an L shape. As we step out, our blocks are always going to land at the same time as the foot that is stepping. So if I step forward and do that double pseudo block, they should land at the same time. Both hands should land at the same time as well. So you'll notice for this movement, first off, my hand lands right here at my sternum. So it's that right at the solar plexus, right at the bottom of the chest. The other arm is going to be in line with that shoulder. These front fingers are in line with that shoulder. The only thing bent is my elbow. We don't want that wrist bent. I see a lot of times we like to keep our wrist straight and bend that wrist, but we're trying to keep the wrist straight, elbow bent, thumb tucked in. These three fingers are actually going to be in line as well. So we don't want our thumb sticking out and these fingers here. Flatten out these three. That's going to be our traditional. And then that thumb tucked in is going to protect the thumb so that it does not get broken when we're doing this technique. Also, when we are starting this movement, we're going to be reaching backwards. We like to call this kind of like a dab movement, so like when dabs were popular. But the difference is that shorter arm right here that doesn't reach back quite as far is not going to be palm down. It's actually going to be palm up. And this is going to help us get to that critical pop movement that we're looking for, because as we step out and as those hands move, you'll see they start to turn, but we're going to flick them right at the edge to give it that pop. If we had our hands this way, it would kind of have to come this way, which is going to be very stiff looking. It's not going to give you that pop, and you're losing a lot of power from that movement. So always make sure that that short hand is up as you reach back, the other hand down, and then you're simply switching positions as you step. And then as we step forward to chamber for that next block, we're going to see our rear hip is actually going to twist to bring us around as we reach backwards over that opposite shoulder. And then we will be stepping forward again. So to see it from this angle, hitting that back stance, we're here, we're reaching around with this short hand up, this other hand down, we'll be stepping forward, everything landing at the same time. My elbow is bent, my wrist is straight, my opposite hand is up. Think about holding like a teacup or a soda or something like that, maybe even a baby bird in this hand, and you want to keep it close to you to protect it so it doesn't spill or fall. Same thing as we step forward again, reaching kind of forward and then going back. My head is coming around to the front. You see that foot is twisting, stepping forward again, and popping it into place. And that's our double pseudo block. When we get to that twin block, same concept, but this time instead of reaching up with open hands, we're reaching down with fists. This is because this block is going to land in fists, and instead of kind of coming in a downward motion, this time our block is swinging in an upward motion. So starting off, palms are facing down. We're going to be coming up. As they turn, or as they come forward, we're going to actually bring those fists so they're facing us, making an X. Our right hand is going to be on the outside, or whatever hand is your long hand for this one is always going to be on the outside, as it's going to come straight up into a high block. Your left hand is going to be on the inside, fist facing towards you again, because we're going to turn it out to that forearm block. So as we come stepping forward, those hands come up facing us, make that plus sign or X, then we'll be popping our wrists out. This is why it's crucial to have those fists towards you, because otherwise if they're away, you're going to come straight up. And you really can't get any of that pop in there if you're coming straight up like that. You have to be able to let your wrists turn out to have that little flick motion. So coming here, moving forward and popping it out. You'll see I have my high lock over here covering my head but still at an angle. The opposite hand is level with my shoulder. Then as we step forward, we're going to get it from this angle. Coming up, we're going to be reaching down and back, twisting that front hip forward just like we did with the double pseudo walk, making our little X and stepping forward, still focusing on landing that foot and block at the same time. So practice those little flicking motions. You can also do this without doing the block by just kind of practicing on turning your fist in and flicking out, or just doing a little bitty baby double pseudo and just keep it soft and then flick it out. Those are really going to help add to your movements. They're going to make your form look sharper. Practicing these blocks is crucial as we move up in the form ranks, because we're going to see these techniques come out a lot more. And also keep working on those back stances. They are a very tricky stance. They require a lot of balance and strength in that back leg especially. So I guess what I'm just trying to say is practice, 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 guys. Come to me with any questions that you have in class, or feel free, if you're not in my classes, to email or reach out to me through the website. All right, guys. Hope this helps, and I'll see you all in class.